All right, hi students. Several people have had questions about truth value tables. So truth tables, I'm sorry. So I'm going to show you some quick things that I think that would help you. They help me as well. Okay, the first one I have, when you're given truth tables, there you're going to be given the first few columns. You do not have to come up with the first few columns. And so for the one I'm going to do now, I mean, they will always be filled in for you. And it's easiest to do them starting from scratch. And do not worry about, filling it in, computerized. But if you just start off on a sheet of paper and you just fill in the two columns that they give you and do them column by column, that is the best way to do it, I found. And we're going to analyze it column by column. All right, so if you're given this, you're going to be given the true false that you have here. Now, you should know that the squiggly line n, that means the negation of n. So the only thing you're going to do, you're going to look at the opposite of this n column. So you're going to negate you're going to do the opposite of this entire column. So you would have, this would be f, true, f, true. And now the biconditional symbol. You're going to do, I have a few things that you can remember. If you have the biconditional, just remember if you have both of those, if it is true, true, or if you have a false, false, when you're comparing any of those columns, then your answer will be overall true. All right, so now, and then I'll tell you the rest when we finish this one. So we're going to do the biconditional because that's what we're given here in our problem. You're going to compare the M column, and I'll change the color. That would be this. You're going to compare the M column, and you're going to compare it with the negation of N column. You're going to compare these two columns that I've circled in yellow. So if you're doing biconditional, you're going to look for two F's. If you have two F's, it's going to be true. Excuse me, two T's is going to be true, or two F's. So all I do now is I'm going to look at, when you look here, that's T and F. So that can't be true. So I'm going to look for these two situations first. Two T's. So therefore, this one has to be true. So I put a true here. And then I have two F's here and an F here. So this has to be true. And everything else has to be false because you don't have two F's or two T's. So this has to be false and this has to be false. So you need to look at the conditions that you have. Do those first, and then everything else will be the opposite. Do what you know to be true. Now, if it's biconditional, you have to have two trues and two falses for it to be true. But if it just implies the if and only if, the first one has to be true, the second one has to be false, and then your overall answer will be false. But that is only true when you have the first one. If your P is true and your Q is false, then your overall answer is false. And another thing to remember that is on your fun fact sheet is if you have an and conjunction, if you have two truths, then your overall answer is true. If you have an or and you have two F's, then your overall answer is false. So you remember these four things, you can do all the truth tables. All right, so let's try another one. I'll try one of the longer ones, I guess. Let's see if I have enough room to write it on here, though. You have the A, B, and C. And then there's one with the A with the conjunction or B. And then the last one is A combined with C. All right, so I'll do a few columns, try to get it as straight as I can. So let's see, it's 4 T's and 4 F's. This is also in your book on page 152. Try to get you some kind of straight lines. Now, try to duplicate it so it'll be a little faster. All right, so for the second column, all of this will be given, and so you will just copy all this down, because if you try to do it row by row, that is going to be difficult. So try to do them by column by column. And remember, this will always be given to you. All right, so now we're going to do the conjunction or. So, or remember I told you on the other page, if you have the or conjunction, you have to have two F's. So all you do is you're going to compare the A and the B. You're going to look at these two columns, and if you have two F's, then you're going to put an F. So I only have two F's when I get down to here. The last two rows are F's. So those will be my only F's. So I will have an F here and an F here. Only because I'm comparing A and B. I don't even care what is in C, because we're doing A in conjunction with or for B. And the rule is if you have two F's, it's an F. So now everything else is going to be true. Don't even worry about it. Just put true. We don't even care what's over there. All right, so now on the last column, you're going to compare the A in conjunction with B, which will be this column. You're going to compare, only going to look at this column, and then you're going to look at the C column. That will be this column. So you're only looking at those two. We don't even care what's over here in A, B, you know, you're done with that. So now if you're going to compare these, and you're going to use the conjunction or, and we go back to what we just said, if it is using the or, you have to have two F's. So you're going to look at the yellow and the, I guess, orange. You're going to look for two F's. And I only have two F's right here, so this will be my only false. So everything else is true. So do not worry about it. Just don't even look at it. You just know it's true because you found your condition to satisfy. Everything else is true. So do not worry about it. Just don't even look at it. You just know it's true because you found your condition to satisfy, and you did that. And so if you just remember those key things, that will help you. Let's see if I can find another one with maybe with the if and only if. I see number 15 on page 53. I'll try that one. Try to give you variety. So it's number 15, and I'll try to write it quickly. So they are fun. They don't take long. It's just you've never seen it before, and you're not doing any calculations. So therefore, yes, it looks a little bit hard. You want to say, "Oh, it's hard. I can't do it." Yes, you can. You have to find something in it that you understand. Remember, all this will be given to you. You don't have to make this up. But it's all standard, though. The first columns. Okay, so now we can work. So the first column says this is the M in conjunction with N, and it is the A. I call it and. So we're only dealing with this column and this one. And if it's and on the very first page, remember I shared with you, it's also on your fun fact sheet that I emailed to you. If it's and, you have to have true, true, false. So if you have two T's anywhere, so you look at just these two, if you have two T's anywhere, then it's going to be true. So I do see that situation happening. So I see at the very first line, so this would be true. So the second one. And remember, I'm not even looking at the R at all because it only says M and N. So that's it. I only have two true, so everything else is false. I satisfy my condition, and that's what I want. I got that one. Okay, so I'm done with that. So in this last column, we want to compare the M in conjunction with N, column, and I'm going to compare it with the R column. I'm going to do a different color. So I'm only comparing the blue and the lime green. I'm through with all of this, through with that one, because this is what I'm doing over here. Now, by this biconditional, this is stating that I have to have a true, two T's or two F's. If I get two T's or two F's, then my answer is true. So I'm going to look for that over here. I have two F's right here. So my answer will be true. So it's like if and only if. This is false, if and only if. So therefore that is true. And then I have two F's right here. So this line would be true. And I have two F's right here. Even if I had two T's, it would be true. So now this would be false. Everything else is false. Because we found, we have two T's. Oops, skip that one. Two T's up here. So this will be true as well. And everything else would be false. So you just look for your conditions. Now, I didn't do one, but if it said if and only if, that means if you had the arrow like here, and that means the P would have to be true, and the Q is false, and then the overall answer is false. So it's the same situation. Just look and say, hey, here, if I have this situation, and then if this is your P column and this is your Q column, if you have a true, and then that has to be a false, then your overall answer would have to be false. And you remember that, just if you have a T first and then the F second, then everything is false. Don't even care if you have two T's, two F's, all that's going to be true. So the only thing you're looking for is just the T and the F in whatever position or numbers you're comparing. And then if you have the T first, then the F, then your overall answer is false. So please try to do them as columns and as a whole, because if you do them line by line or in a row, yep, you will probably be confused. All right, so I hope this helped a little. Let me know, and good luck on your assignments.